My name is Dan Wright. I'm the president of Butler. We manufacture lawn and garden tools in our factory right across the border in Tijuana, Mexico. Uh, we believe at Butler that gardening nourishes our souls, and we're passionate about this lifestyle and leading people into the gardening lifestyle. We believe that with the pandemic, uh, many lives have changed. There's a lot of pain out there, and people are turning to gardening as a form of solace. And we believe that our mission is to kind of help people in discovering that lifestyle. So I joined Vistage. I joined Jim Heaton's group about 6 years ago. And when I joined, the company was flat. Now, so I'm gonna actually start a little bit with my background. I was a corporate attorney on Wall Street for 6 years, 7 years. I just hated that life. I didn't like being a lawyer. I didn't like working in New York. I didn't like being on Wall Street. So I asked my dad for a job, and we had this tool company down in Mexico. And so I joined it about 30 years ago now, and it was a rescue for me, and I liked it, but it has been flat. Yeah, we've grown over time, and things have gone all right, but over time, it's never really taken off the way I wanted it to. And when I met Jim 6 or 7 years ago, I had tried a bunch of things, and it just wasn't taking off. We were just constantly battling, just breaking even. It was not a really successful business, and I really was actively contemplating just shutting it down. We operate out of a couple buildings in Mexico, and I literally could have closed the business down, rented the buildings out, and personally made more income from the rent than I was earning from the business. Right. So it was a very, I was seriously looking at just closing the business down. Um, and I met Jim, and the first reaction I had, and I've always had, is, oh my gosh, I've got to pump the business up. You can't be honest and straightforward. As a business owner, you spend a lot of time sort of pretending. Oh, I'm bigger, I'm better. The world can't. They just can't know what the reality is in the business. And I quickly learned in Jim's group the value of humility and the price of arrogance. And I mean it that way. I think I didn't recognize it at the time, but I guess I thought, oh, I'm a corporate lawyer on Wall Street. I know everything there is to know about business. Well, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about how to actually run a business and the nuts and bolts of. And I'm not exaggerating. What is marketing? How do you manage a team of people? And my experience with Vistage and with Jim's leadership, especially in the one-to-ones, has been transformational. It has been transformational for my business. When we joined, I was sort of looking at us as a metal manufacturing company in Mexico. We happen to make our own stuff, but it was, we were really just sort of looking to keep the factory busy. And it was a small business, and we were sort of, our lunch was getting eaten by our competitors in China. And I was looking at a variety of alternatives, but I was really sort of focused on the metal manufacturing. More than once, I have gone into Vistage meetings, and in the process of those meetings, we're required to bring an issue to process with the group. And sometimes you sort of, you look around, and in my arrogance, I always sort of thought, well, all right, I have to find an issue to process. I already know what the answer is. I'm just going to go in and get confirmation, right? Just, pure confirmation bias. I remember walking into one of these meetings, early on, going, well, you know, I've decided that we're just going to pursue the metal fabricating business and really not pay attention to the branded products that we make and sell to Ace Hardware and Home Depot, because that business is just too difficult. And in the process of that meeting, literally turned around 180 degrees. That the feedback I got from the group was, Dan, you're out of your mind. The value of your business is the brand. You are selling products to major retailers, and that's something big. That's something you can build on. I'm not exaggerating. I walked out of that business going, oh, this is a completely different business than I knew I had. There's real potential here. There's a future that I can build on here, and that's what the last 5 or 6 years has been. So you walk into a Vistage meeting, and very quickly there are no secrets, and it's such a relief to have this group of people who I deeply respect, and I can hear their stories and just be really honest about all the problems and all of our failings and all of our shortcomings, and say, these are the warts. These are the warts of the business. These are the things I'm struggling with, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't even begin to know what the answers are. In many questions, I don't even. There are many cases I don't even know what the questions are, and to sort of work that around with people I trust and respect, and get better and better every time, has been just a revelation to me. In many ways, I feel like it's the MBA I should have gotten instead of a law degree. It's the education, and so the feedback from the group, and the group itself is also, it's not just processing my issues, it's hearing how this team of very experienced people process the issues for other people. So just hearing how people look at things, it's a case study or multiple case studies in every single month, which has been just eye opening for me and extremely enlightening. It gives me something to work towards. That coupled with the speakers, that we get fantastic speakers. I think every other meeting, or maybe more than that. People that come in, and these are very renowned. Most of them have written books. They're excellent speakers. Just a lot of knowledge, a lot of education, and I have found that far from taking away time from everybody's got a very busy schedule. I really look forward to these monthly meetings. I really look forward to the chance to connect with peers in a way that I just didn't before. So having peers kind of at my level that understand what I'm doing has been just socially and personally something very important to me. It is in every respect it's a support group. So I just can't go. I can't go on and on enough about how transformational Vistage as a group has been for me. Jim, in particular, is just great. He's when the student is ready, the master appears is really the story for me. I didn't know what marketing is, and Jim is a marketing maven. He's a marketing expert and has been coaching me about what marketing is, just at a very basic level. We have monthly one-to-ones, which I haven't come out of a single one of our one-to-ones without new understanding of what I should be doing in my business, new knowledge about the direction we should be going. And Jim cares. He doesn't have an agenda. His agenda is to make me better. His agenda is to make my company better. And so I trust the guy. I trust the guy completely. His judgment is very important to me. I run big decisions by him, and he's really an extremely trusted advisor that doesn't have another agenda other than my success. So that plus the network of people that he's sort of tied me into. I think before Vistage, I was kind of alone in the world, and I was very afraid. Part of our history as a company, I started working with my dad. We were all very bootstrapped. If we couldn't do it ourselves, it couldn't be done. We had to do everything in house because we were just barely getting by, and so I never knew how to go out and look for experts. And one of the very first things that Jim did for me was he hooked me up with a fractional CFO. We just had to get our accounting systems in order. We had to figure out what our costs were. And I was like, Jim, I don't know if I can afford this guy. And he looked me at the eye and says, Dan, it doesn't matter what it costs. And that was a transformational moment. It didn't end up being very expensive, but just this idea that I really needed to get outside help. And it was very successful. It was very successful having an outside CFO to help us come in and get our accounting in place. Just opened up this world for me of, oh, I don't need to be the expert. I kept approaching everything in terms of, I need to understand it. I need to be the guy that's doing it all. Um, and I didn't have enough bandwidth. I didn't have enough knowledge. And so the idea that I could really start relying on other people, and building a team that I didn't have to be the smartest guy in the room, was like this weight being lifted off my shoulders. And I still, I'm still in that mode. I'm still in the mode of, actively trying to build our management team. And, I continue to try to grow as a leader, which I now understand to be empowering the team around me, and not making decisions myself, but guiding the team and guiding the company to make better decisions. So it's an ongoing process. I mean, I've been highly focused on it for 6 years, but with a sense of humility, with humility that is actually empowering. It's like, I don't know, and I don't have to know. As long as I'm listening to the right people and getting the right advice, we're making better decisions. The company is more valuable. Um, the company now is, thankfully far more valuable than the buildings down in Mexico. So we have grown a lot in value. We've got, I look now at what our potential is, and I think it's huge. With the coaching and the things we're looking at, I believe that we can be one of the dominant lifestyle brands in a $15 billion industry within the next 3 to 5 years. Our sales have exploded. We limped along for decades, barely breaking even as a company, and profitability is still an issue. But we've been desperate for sales, desperate for everything we could get, and now we're not in that position. We are in the fortunate position of being able to say, this business is good, that business isn't so great. And we're focusing on the things that are good for us as a company, that are more profitable. I mean, this is still it's an active transformation, but it's an upward spiral, not a downward spiral. So there it is. And it's, my world and my life is just completely different because of the coaching that I get from Jim and from the team. I'm happier, I'm with the business. My wife and I are more attuned, because a lot of Vistage is not just a business, but there are also these personal aspects. We focus on our own personal MITs, and I take it seriously. So I've adopted the mantra. When Jim gives me homework to do, I do it. We do annual business plans. And so, for example, I remember taking our annual business plan into our bankers at Wells Fargo. We're a small company. We're under, we're about $10 million in sales. Um, and doing the presentation of our annual business plan to our banker and our banker's boss, and they really came out of that, saying, wow, that presentation was better than 95% of the businesses we work with, including much larger businesses. And that helped us through some difficult times with the bank, and has helped us expand our availability to credit. So just the approach to business, it trickles out to our approach with our bankers, our different advisors, and our customers. We now have a different approach to the way we market our products. It's not just, buy. Here's this product and just buy it. It's, hey, here's who we are as a company, and here's the market that we're going after. Here are the customers that we're trying to talk to, and we believe you, retailer, are a really good fit because you're talking to the same people. We see some real alignment here, and I find that conversation with our retail buyers is just a very different conversation. They relax. Their sort of reptile brains are not, oh, this guy is just trying to sell me something. It's much more consultative, and I really do attribute that to kind of the coaching that Jim has given me in the approach to marketing. Now, we've now got a bunch of I got a bunch of marketing experts who are working with a lot of outside agencies, and so we're coming to this. But the spark really was from Jim. So I give him just a huge amount of credit for where we are as a company, where I am personally in life, and how we're moving forward.